first, Poe knows as much about spiritual leadership as he does about the paleo diet. I don't know where that came from.
I don't remember that episode.
That's not even in this movie. This is from Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. The paleo diet.
It has something to do with like the restaurant thing, I guess?
I don't know. That's true. And second, he needs to quickly find and train a new dragon warrior. If you've seen the movie and you remember that in the movie, let me know in the comments because I don't remember that at all.
Comment below or wherever it is in like the future where they keep moving it around.
Wherever it is, yeah. And second, he needs to quickly find and train a new dragon warrior before he can assume his new lofty position. Even worse, there's been a recent sighting of a wicked, powerful sorceress, Chameleon, Oscar winner Viola Davis, a tiny lizard who can shapeshift into any creature, large or small. And Chameleon has her greedy, beady little eyes on Poe's Staff of Wisdom, which would give her the power to resummon all the master villains whom Poe has vanquished to the spirit realm. I was about to say shadow realm. So, Poe's going to need some help. He finds it, kinda, in the form of crafty, quick-witted thief Zen, Golden Globe winner Aquafina, a Corsac fox who really gets under Poe's fur. This is almost done, by the way. Under Poe's fur, but whose skills will prove invaluable. In their quest to protect the Valley of Peace from Chameleon's reptilian claws, this comedic odd couple duo will have to work together. In the process, Poe will discover that heroes can be found in the most unexpected places.
Do you need a breather? Should I talk a little bit?
Alright.
I thought Viola Davis did a very good job. I forgot it was her. I was thinking it was someone familiar, and it was Viola Davis.
Yeah. I didn't realize who it was until I saw the credits and stuff. But yeah, Viola Davis does a great job. It's good to see her in a kids movie and stuff like that. I don't think she normally does that. Maybe I don't know enough about Viola Davis.
I also wonder. I don't know. I felt like it didn't play off that well, in the last line about it being a buddy comedy. But if it was live action, maybe that would work better. I don't know.
Yeah, but just to set the scene, what is this movie? This is the fourth movie in the series of Kung Fu Panda films. They try to situate it that way, but they're also trying to bring it into this new step for the series, right? It's doing multiple things at the same time.
The second and the third movie, I hated. I love the first movie. It wasn't as good as Wall-E according to the Oscars, but whatever. It was a great movie. And the second and third one were really disappointing. And then this one brought it back to the first movie.
Yeah.
Where it was a good franchise again.
I think
Shrek needs something like this.
I think that's what they were going for, is that the first movie did well, then they had these kind of mixed reaction to the sequels. Now they're trying to bring the series back to form and also set it up for more movies, maybe another trilogy or something.
It's been 16 years since the first movie came out.
That's pretty wild to think about.
I think that was a thought when they were making this movie. That maybe we gotta find the next Dragon Warrior.
Yeah, and you can tell with a lot of the effort they're putting into this, all the animation, all the work they're doing into really making it a high fidelity kind of film. I was wow, this is pretty good to watch in a theater because there's all these details and stuff in the animation and whatnot.
We were watching Kung Fu Panda 1 at our cousin's house with our nieces or whatever. And my grandparents were wow, this is impressive stuff. This is complicated. This is, look at this.
Yeah, there's layers to it. They're trying to tell a story. It's not just a little kiddie movie where you're just turn your brain off.
I think that's what they meant. I think they might have overstated it. That's what they meant, yeah.
Yeah, because there's actually a story going on here and you got to follow it and everything.
Oh yeah, Dad was this movie's not for kids, right?
we watched Kung Fu Panda 4 with our dad in the theater at a Bargain Tuesday on spring break and stuff.
Yeah.
And Dad was man, you can't watch this movie with kids. They're not going to know what's going on because I don't know what's going on and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's complicated. They have this staff. They got the magic. They got the story, this intrigue, all the characters involved.
Yeah, I feel like Dad's generation they don't really talk about those kind of stories with magic and stuff.
Yeah, for us we kind of followed it. We're for us we could picture the predictability of the story of the characters and all that. But there's this spirit realm. There's this kung fu. There's also references to the previous movies. There's also the side plot with the Poe's two dads, his adoptive father and his biological father.
And I feel like we gotta rewatch. I gotta rewatch the stuff about the spirit realm because I don't remember if that kind of stuff's in previous films. But it's not it matters because it works really well what they did with the spirit realm in this film.
Right, because it's like they're bringing it back to like reference the previous movies,
Yeah.
but also
They're
like,
fans, and it's like synergy, and like
Right.
it's great marketing for the rest of the movies.
and it throws back to those previous movies. So like if you watch this on like say Peacock or something, you're like, oh, I wonder about these characters and stuff like that.
Both with the Spirit staff and the two dads.
Right. So and you also want you also like, oh man, Poe's dad. There's another panda. I didn't watch that movie. I better watch it on Peacock and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I totally forgot. And, like,
I forgot
the first movie. I was like, what's going on? Everybody?
Yeah, it's Bryan Cranston as Poe's biological dad as the panda. That was,
he's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then James Hong is the
Wasn't he supposed to retire?
adoptive father.
He's retired after. I guess those movies
Maybe
take a while to come out because like he was supposed to retire a while ago.
Yeah. What was Bryan Cranston in again? Also, he was also in Argyle, which we did not do a review of yet. But yeah, Bryan Cranston's in Argyle. Let me see what else is in here. James Hong is the dad. Also, Awkwafina's in this. I feel like they're setting her up in a very predictable way to be like this kind of follow-up character, like in Dial of Destiny, Indiana Jones, which we watched last year.
So I'm sort of mixed on that. Like on the one hand, it's Awkwafina, so I'm like, that's totally where they're going.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I just didn't screw that up. Like
Right.
they made you don't want it to be like a bad choice that's unpredictable.
Right.
It's better to have a good choice that's predictable than a bad choice that's unpredictable.
Right. So like, yeah, you're like, okay, if you have Awkwafina play this character,
And she's in all these animated films, comedies, and all these things now.
you know they're gonna do something with her.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, this movie's not really for us exactly. It's not really supposed to be like, oh, I could have predicted this a mile away. I don't feel challenged by this movie. But
on the other hand, I thought it was very good that for Kung Fu Panda, the main character is going to be an Asian American or Asian in general.
Right. Instead of
Jack Black.
Instead of Jack Black,
who was
and like
friggin' Nacho Libre.
Yeah, I think they did a lot of work trying to cast more Asian Americans and people of color in this.
Oh yeah,
film.
Ronnie Chang's in this.
Ronnie Chang's in this as
the
a
fish inside the pelican
inside
and
a
the pelican's
pelican's mouth.
That was another interesting thing
That's
that I'll
funny.
bring up later. Like his pelican's a mom.
Right. About like different parents and
His
stuff.
mom's a pelican. Sorry.
And then also like one of I think it was like her cousin or something. Awkwafina's character's cousin, who's like this kind of like was it like a pangolin? I believe was played by Ke Huy Quan.
Oh right.
From Indiana Jones fame, also another Indiana Jones.
Yeah, he's working for Disney. He's working for Paramount. He's working
playing the
for.
field. Yeah, get that like Kung Fu Panda.
He has no health insurance. He has no health insurance. He has to make money.
Yeah, there's that clip that was like he has no health insurance. He's like, you guys got to give me a gig. I was in everything everywhere all at once, but the gig's over. I need money.
I guess this is our Carl Weathers and Arrested Development version of Ke Huy Quan.
Yeah. So yeah, he's in it. Yeah, you got to get these Kung Fu Panda movies going to like keep the franchise money coming in for these actors and stuff. Yeah, Zen is very clearly being set up as the next Dragon Warrior. You can see it from a mile away. But I don't know. And yeah, another thing to compare this to is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny in terms of like how it's set.
That's a very good setup because of Ke Huy Quan.
Because it's setting up this series that like it's supposed to be a jumping off point for another series of movies, which is what one of their goals is for this. And I guess in this case,
it works. In Dial of Destiny, it doesn't work.
Yeah, in this case, it kind of works where
it totally works.
Where Jack Black is the Indiana Jones in this case,
and then Awkwafina's
is the
where
Phoebe Waller-Bridge. What's her name? No.
Well, I feel like they didn't do that well in Dial of Destiny, whereas like it does very well with Awkwafina.
Yeah. How about before we get into the further themes of this, we watch the trailer for it?
Oh yeah, sure. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I felt like we could break it up that way.
Wipe.
So let's go back to the trailer here, and let's check it out. Kung Fu Panda 4 official trailer.
It is time to take the next step on your journey.
I forgot to mention like
You're not gonna be the Dragon Warrior.
this was 16 years later, and Dustin Hoffman's still in the franchise.
Yeah, he's still here.
Inner peace.
I bet his screen time's a lot less, which is probably why they set it up this way.
Dinner, please. Dinner with peas in a sesame sweat glaze. This is not working at all.
Thailand, big fan. Once I possessed the kung fu of every master.
I guess that's not a spoiler because like it's in the trailer.
It's in the trailer.
I mean, that's sort of why everyone wanted to watch the movie because like, oh, it's going back to the first movie.
They try to make it really predictable and stuff. And they want to make it as appealing as possible before you watch it, you know?
Yeah,
To have a lot of sales
that's
points.
part of the reason why I want to watch Kung Fu Panda 4. If they didn't put that in there, I'd be like, nah, I don't want to watch it.
You can tell they
I
really
do like the second and the third movie.
You could tell they really market tested all the trailers and the movie itself and stuff to just be really marketable.
I still notice all the OO's trailer techniques they put in this. All these fades.
Yeah, and then like the dun dun, you know.
Dun, 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 dun.
And then like the cut, and then the dun.
Action cuts, yeah.
Do the zoom in on the name. Skadoosh. See?
What is it you're holding? A puppy? You were chosen to become something more than you already are.
I do wonder what they're going to call the sequel. Like, is it gonna, this is basically going to be like what they did with Puss in Boots.
Where they just try to spin it off entirely or something.
Not entirely, but like it won't be called like Kung Fu. It won't be called like Shrek, you know. Yeah.
I think the panda's way too marketable though. I don't think they can actually get away from, you know, having a panda involved.
Yeah, I think like Zen would not be a good title for whatever.
Zen, Kung Fu.
Because they could be
Zen,
any person named Zen.
Kung Fu Fox, you know.
Kung Fu
Panda
Fox.
is way too appealing.
Kung Fox Panda.
Kung Fu Panda and Fox. People love a panda in a movie.
And that's part of the appeal of this franchise.
I mean, it's a huge part of the appeal, honestly. All right, so that was the trailer. So yeah, we did get to see a lot of other things there, and it's it's predictable and all that. But let's see if we can.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right. It's hopefully the fireworks aren't going off. Anyway, it started. Hello, this is Mudita Hard here.
This is Pure PhD here.
And we're here to talk about Indiana Jones.
Kenja.
Adventure Time, folks. The original Adventure Time.
No.
Yeah, Pure PhD's got to bring in the
Super Sentai aspect.
Super Sentai aspect. That's the series that's inspired by Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
This is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, or as we were calling it, Indiana Jones and the Geriatrics of Destiny. Because there's a lot of old people in this movie. It's like...
they do something to do people... No. Like, this is like a WWE thing where like they have Hulk Hogan and this is like no replacement. There's John Cena, this is no replacement.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like, okay, look, I know that might sound a little mean, but like, I mean, the reason why we're saying that is because like, oh, it's been a while since they did an indie movie. Indy 4 came out in 2008. That was 15 years ago.
And he was sort of
he's
not
already
young back then.
He was already getting older. He was like getting up there in age, and now he's like 80 years old. And
Like-
like they're still vaguely trying to revive the franchise, but like they brought in all these like retro characters, and they're not really reviving the franchise. So I'm like, we were looking at some of this box office stuff.
Like Bob Iger and Phoebe, what's her name, was like, oh, we're gonna make a new franchise out of this. I was like, no, this is not the Force Awakens at all. This is the opposite of the Force Awakens.
Yeah,
Like Star Wars trilogy, they killed off the main guy, the old cast at least. Thank goodness. Because like, otherwise they would have this whole writing issue they would have like Indiana Jones has now.
yeah, like
If you want to continue as a franchise, I mean.
yeah, they don't have a lot of audience that's under 35 watching this.
When we were in the theater, like the median age was like 70 years old. I was probably the second.
At least
I was like,
at least in the row of our audience. And
No, I think that was the whole
The
theater.
theater.
I think that was the whole theater, man.
I mean, like, let me put it this way.
They probably watched baseball. They probably remember when the Polo Grounds, when the Mets and the Yankees and the Giants all played on the Polo Grounds.
I
They probably remember when the moon landed.
I will say, of all the movies that we've watched, this had higher than average.
It had a lot of people in it, but
higher than average older audiences in the theater. Like even other movies we watched that target all ages, they didn't have this many older people. And this was like July 4th. We watched this,
yeah.
and it's like I think the first weekend that it's out or something.
So
So it's the first holiday it's out after it came out. And yeah, even it's kind of like showing here in this like statistics here. Yeah, like women over 25 showed up at 35%. Men are giving it 74% on a 58% turnout. So yeah, a lot of the people showing up to this are older men apparently. Yeah, it's and they lean into that. They're leaning into it with like Indiana Jones being this father figure to this like goddaughter that he has.
There's not a lot of as Elemental say hanky panky in this film.
No, he's not like the gallivanting.
He's not like the James Bond sequel character.
Yeah, and they're also like kind of like not really setting up like people to follow up after him. Really, like in Indy 4, they were like, "Oh, Mutt Williams," but nobody liked that or whatever. The reception was mixed, I would say. But like in this, they don't even set that up as much. And
totally, as much as you don't like that movie, like this movie totally ruins like what could have been with that.
Yeah, but yeah. So yeah, that's why we're saying all that. But in general, like what is happening in this movie? Let's rewind a little bit.
There you go, yeah.
This movie is about Indiana Jones on his next adventure.
It's not really about Indiana Jones, though. It's about Toby Jones' character's family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like his Toby Jones kind of follows the role of like
he's the guy. Yeah.
Like what Sean Connery was doing in Indy 3, where like he's researching this ancient artifact and he's obsessed with it and ignoring his daughter. So it's like a parallel there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And then like the daughter rises up as like the next kind of adventurer and wants to recruit Indiana Jones into this.
Well, like the whole film revolves around it, but it doesn't follow either of those characters. It follows Indiana Jones, which totally ruins the film in my opinion.
Yeah, it's kind of it feels like they're kind of stringing along these sequences along.
And there's like 3 producers, and one of them's not like one of the originals, and like they have like 4 writers on this, and
yeah,
they have like the hugest budget for Indiana Jones film.
Yeah,
it's one of the most expensive film ever to make. Not to mention that like technology has caught up so much that like you didn't even need to spend that much on the film.
Yeah, it's like you can't really see it here, but so it's got like a $250 to $300 million budget or so, and this is
getting out of hand.
This is Disney is involved with this.
Yeah.
Paramount is involved with this. Lucasfilm is involved with this. They got like
so they have like 3 companies too.
They got a bunch of producers. They got a bunch of writers. They got a bunch of directors.
And like you have a whole bunch of people.
Huge budget.
Yeah, like Spielberg and Mangold are like both working on it.
Yeah, and also something I would say about this, like Mangold has done a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah,
we're mentioning that.
Yeah, I looked it up and was like, oh, I didn't like Logan. The Wolverine was alright, but I didn't think it was that great. And then I looked at the rest of the films and I was like, wow, these are amazing films. Like, what happened here?
Like Girl Interrupted, I think you said you liked.
Copland was good.
Copland. Ford versus Ferrari.
Well, you did Walk the Line. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a very 2000s film. It stays in the 2000s. It's about like I think it's about like cheerleading.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Based on 2 autobiographies by singer-songwriter Johnny Cash.
Oh.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a pretty big movie, and even then, like I felt like the whole time, like as soon as like I saw like very early scenes, I felt like maybe this is because I was watching so many different like documentaries about Spielberg like right before this on like Max, but formerly known as HBO Max. But like it felt like the least Spielbergian Indiana Jones
sort of like
film.
the new Star Wars films are like Lucasfilms.
Yeah, but even then, like I felt
like the opening for this felt very Spielbergian, and after that, like all like it has deepfake and everything.
Yeah, all the deepfake was weird, and like the CGI. But like even the Star Wars sequels still try to have a lot of the same visual language.
Yeah.
As the same Star Wars movies before it, they try to have some visual continuity with like the wipes and like the kinds of shots they had.
Yeah, they had no wipes in this. Yeah.
Yeah, they had just
they had
really
like lens glares from like, the flashlights for some odd reason. That didn't help.
Yeah, they had the one circle wipe at the end or whatever.
And it
but,
doesn't look
they
like
don't have it.
It doesn't look like the Doc Hammer or whatever, like, or serials from the 20s. It doesn't look anything like that.
Yeah, and like the things that I think of when I think of Spielberg are like, lots of like moving camera shots, lots of Spielberg oneers, lots of like tight editing where you like there's like foreground and background and refocusing, and like changing from like a medium wide to like a wide angle to like a close up, just like jumping back and forth. This movie, it felt like it was just close ups the whole time, and like each face would take up like a third to 2/3 of the screen the whole time. You do know what I mean by that? Like
soap opera filming or something?
kind of like that, yeah. And the lighting was off. The lighting didn't feel like it had the warm tone of like the color correction didn't feel like an Indiana Jones.
It looked like an ugly sepia tone.
It felt like it was all Indiana Jones. It was all CGI.
Everything was in the set.
Everything, yeah. Like everything had this weird hue to it that didn't feel like it was an Indiana Jones.
It was like the smog that we were going through now.
Yeah. Yeah, so Indiana Jones feels like it. I think of the canvas like the Drew Struzan kind of like warm tones and stuff like that.
I feel like
we
watched Asteroid City the same day, and I felt like that was a more specific film than this was.
Yeah, right before this we watched Asteroid City.
Not the cinematography, but like the sets they used and whatever.
Right. Yeah. It's very like tightly like tight cinematography, tight storyboarding,
tight auteurship. Yeah.
Tight auteur cinematography and filmmaking with Wes Anderson's Asteroid City we saw before this in the same day, July 4th. But yeah, I don't know. Just like the cinematography felt very non-Spielberg. Also, the dialogue felt like kind of off. Like how the story was set up, like the world building.
Sometimes it had the same bad jokes that we would laugh at, but we weren't supposed to. That like Legend of whatever Crystal Skull had before. That was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, and like
Wait, we didn't watch the trailer yet.
Yeah. Is there anything else we should mention before we jump into the trailer? I feel like it's about time to jump into it soon.
Yeah, sure, why not? I sort of got at this point. Yeah.
Okay, let's jump into the trailer.
Yeah.
Because maybe you'll kind of see what we mean by the visuals here. So let's take a look at it.
I sort of feel this is why I didn't want to watch the movie because it looked terrible.
Yeah, I was like
in the trailer I knew it, and then like when I actually watched it, it's like, okay, the opening scene's alright, but like later on, it just looks like a CGI fest or whatever.
Yeah, I gotta be. Yeah, I
want to watch Indiana Jones for like the stunts, and like it seemed like a bunch of like. It sort of reminds me of like the Crystal Skull, or like not the monkey part, but like when they're like sword fighting on top of the jeeps.
Yeah, that kind of CGI and stunts and acting. Like it's all like. You don't even know where the camera is or whatever. Yeah. They don't even know which camera to face or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like... Yeah, I also came into this movie feeling lukewarm, but like was still curious to see it, because it's a big franchise, like how they're going to handle Indiana Jones. And like they might revive the franchise. But I heard like I came into this lukewarm, just watching the trailers and stuff. But yeah, then when I watched it, I guess we could talk about that more later after we watch the trailer. So let's check out the trailer.
Yeah. Man, that's really starting up. I didn't see this trailer.
He's on the New York City subway.
This is a very bad trailer, huh? I never saw this trailer before. It's a really bad trailer.
I'm retiring.
He's retiring.
Same for the goddaughter.
Dad told me you found something on the train during the war. A dial that could change the course of history.
Why are you chasing the thing that drove your father crazy?
This looks like one of those modern trailers of Indiana Jones films.
Sorry.
This spoils a lot.
Dr. Jones.
This is pretty good. It's pretty good.
I feel like when you see that deepfake face for a split second, it looks better.
Yeah.
When you're watching it in the movie.
When we're looking at a trailer, it's worse, I feel.
Oh, really?
And sometimes it works, and sometimes the head's up cut off or something.
Yeah.
I will correct them all. You stole it. Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
I think they use this theme in the movie.
Careful, seatbelt. That might be some tripwires.
You've taken your chances. Made your mistakes. And And now a final trailer.
It's not what he wants. That's pretty funny.
Many times in my life I've seen things. I've been tortured with voodoo. Been shot 9 times. Including once by your father. Sorry. But I've been looking for this all my life.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they're overplaying their hand with this music on this trailer here.
Yeah. I feel like John Williams did too good of a job, and as a result, the rest of the film, like, sort of... I didn't mention it before, but yeah, John Williams is the best job he ever does, and does some stuff, like, he doesn't normally do, like, well, like, Star Wars and, like, Indiana Jones and, like, Superman, by not playing the same beats over and over again, but, like, he does way too... He's the drummer at the wrong party or something, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's like overselling, but like, you know, it's not fitting in with the rest of the players in the band or whatever. Yeah, it's not coming together. Yeah, there's like the science stuff.
You won't notice it like while you're watching it, but like when you're watching it, you're like, yeah, this is great, John Williams.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the visuals was honestly one of my biggest criticisms.
Shootings and the melting off the face with the Ark of the Covenant and stuff.
Yeah, but like at least that would be like so fantastical, you could conceive of it as being like not super realistic.
Yeah, there you go.
And this, it's like you just have somebody shoot someone in cold blood, and they just have a bullet hole in them, and they're splattering blood everywhere.
And then doing it on the dead body for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, and it's like people of color, it's like women and stuff. Like it's pretty violent stuff at times.
Yeah, like
somebody's
neck snap.
Yeah, there's like a guy pointing a gun at a child, and I'm like, oh my god, are they gonna do it? Like I was kind of nervous, and like it was pretty. I was not that.
Oh, Dad, why did you show me this movie?
I did not feel that safe watching
I'm 4
this
years
movie.
old. What am I here for?
This feels like it's trying to be.
I was thinking
like
the Dark Knight.
It feels like it's trying to be Dark Knight or like the Rings of Power of like Indiana Jones, where it's like going for this high production, more edgy angle.
Yeah, that's the Mangold thing. Like you got James Mangold, he's doing comic books or like some blockbuster. He has to do something edgier.
Yeah, Spielberg himself is a sentimental kind of person, where he likes
the heart of people. Yeah.
He likes the rose-tinted goggles.
It's sort of like out of style. They could go back to that, the whole emotional core and like Hill's journey and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, this is not that successful at being like a 4-quadrant film.
Yeah.
As like we've been hearing that term lately. You should look up that term. We heard about that while watching some videos about like the Batman movies in the 90s and stuff. But yeah, this does not succeed quite so well at being a 4-quadrant film. It's a little scary, but you could watch it with like an 8-year-old, a 9-year-old or something. Yeah, you don't like that. A little. I understand.
You can I watched RoboCop when I was 4, but I wouldn't recommend it.
If a kid understands movie violence is fictional, maybe.
Would you bring Arvel just to go watch that?
Not a small child who's like sensitive and like that kind of
if
thing.
It's like one of those kids who like loves playing with slime, bugs. It's like, yeah, go kill that guy.
Yeah.
Maybe
that kind of kid. Like some kid who's really like, yeah, like that.
The adrenaline pumping in them.
Yeah. Red-blooded, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Honestly, like that kind of turned me off from the movie too.
Yeah.
Like, cause when I like Indiana Jones, I like the kind of '90s cartoon, Saturday afternoon cartoon kind of angle to it that like can appeal to kids and stuff.
I mean, that was the thing. It was like these films are supposed to be for kids. Like,
yeah.
As much as I didn't like racism from like the serials and like whatever, like. They were meant for like 5-year-olds to watch in theaters for like 5 minutes in the 1920s.
Yeah, in that sense, I feel like I would recommend The Flash over this for that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Actually, I wrote in that. I feel like they handled Michael Keaton better as like the legacy character a lot better than they did with Harrison Ford as a legacy character in this.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Like he has his send off in The Flash is a lot better than Indiana Jones' send off.
Yeah.
In, like this movie.
Yeah. Okay. without getting into spoilers too much,
Yeah.
do you feel like people need to watch this to like in anticipation of them reviving the Indiana Jones franchise? And I'm wording that way very specific for a lot of reasons.
Well, if they revive it, like, then you can go back and watch it. But like, it's very questionable now with like all we've been saying about Disney and like the movie industry and everything. It's very questionable.
Yeah, it's
I don't think they're making any theme park rides out of this either.
yeah, it's kind
I
of
think
like
Indiana Jones might be able to see him as a character performer or something.
yeah, it might be another 15 years before they make another Indiana Jones movie.
Yeah.
It's a shame because like this was one of the big acquisitions from Lucasfilm,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, like they were hesitant to make another movie, and now it seems like they might. It seems like there's like, okay, if we're not getting Spielberg and Lucas in on this, then let's get another director in on this.
Yeah,
and really try to revive it. But like, it seems like this effort is like not working so well.
A lot of people could pass away, sadly, before like that happens. Like
Yeah,
Williams, Lucas, Spielberg before. Yeah.
yeah, and they don't really like do, you know, not getting into spoilers too much. They don't really do a great job of like setting up passing the torch, kind of, with this franchise.
Yeah.
So like, I really don't know what
I
they're
think
gonna
originally
do
they
now.
wanted to do it, but like they were like, no, we have to do Indiana Jones because that's Cecilia character.
So it's like very unclear how I can't even imagine exactly what they're gonna do to move forward. You know, Harrison Ford wears adult diapers. You know, like he's like up there in age and stuff, and like, yeah, it's very, I don't know, like it's a big question. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I guess we've been bashing this movie this whole time, but it's entertaining. If you want to watch a blockbuster, it's fun.
I guess you would say this is the worst movie that. Oh, we haven't seen those things yet. Would I say it's the worst movie I've seen since we got Pretty Gone Limited? I
Yeah.
don't know what we watched. It's pretty down there, though.
Yeah. It's an entertaining movie.
Yeah, if
For
you don't,
sure.
if you're not like an analytical guy, you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, it's the thing is like it's kind of reached the level of like other action adventure films. You know what I mean? Like it's like
Some stuff they did really well, and like that ending, even though they screwed up a little bit, they spent so much money on it. That's like a filmmaker's dream to have that kind of situation that you can make that kind of thing.
Right, that final act before the epilogue, the final act, they just take it to another fantastical.
They
kind
probably
of
spent like $250 million or something like that, and they're like, okay, we gotta stop the production.
That was a pretty strong.
Stop the show! We're on a fixed income.
That was a strong way to have like a big finale.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And then they had other good set pieces, like, you know, like there's like some chase sequences in cars, and there's like some stuff on some trains,
they've done that.
stuff on boats.
What
you know.
problem though is like they did the car thing, and it was like two similar cars, and they did it like twice in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of like James Cameron's Avatar. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like it being like big budget, very entertaining, lots of different settings, visual fest, good production value, or like high production value.
I felt like James Cameron did the lighting and everything right.
Yeah.
Like, even the writing, even though I problems with the writing, that was more creative, and like they did the arcs and like some of the characters more interesting than this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as I bashed that movie, yeah.
Man, it's like it's worse than James Bond. It's worse than Star Wars. It's worse than Avatar. It's worse than Indiana Jones. It's the series itself. Oh boy, but it was an entertaining way to spend an afternoon. Like we're not, I don't know.
That ending, like I've never seen. They've never done that kind of ending for any Indiana Jones film before.
Yeah.
And like I would say, watch it for that ending because it's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Also, I think it's the worst of the things we've seen in theaters. Also, we try not to watch terrible movies in theaters.
That's true. Yeah, we don't watch like
we don't go out of our way to like
adult
watch,
comedies or whatever.
Yeah, like a terribly like something that's completely terribly received or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
we have high standards. Yeah, keep that in mind. Yeah.
So yeah, so it's still pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of rough for its box office right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an entertaining movie, and the fantasy is pretty fun.
I'm trying to remember
pretty-
that
it's
Indiana
good.
Jones and international theme parks and
Yeah, they mostly have it at Orlando,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
The stunt show,
like they have the Disneyland like dinosaur ride. Yeah,
right? And yeah, Disneyland, right? Yeah.
I think they have it in Japan. Like they have the ride in Japan. Yeah,
Yeah. Also, in the parks now they have an Indiana Jones meet and greet.
yeah.
Meet and greet for Indiana
Your
Jones.
movie sort of doesn't look like Harrison Ford at all. It
Yeah.
looks like an intern.
It's a
Like,
costume.
Yeah,
It's a costume. He's
yeah.
an everyman.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, yeah, that's our
That's
review.
about it. Yeah.
And yeah, I would say you can watch it, but you know, we have a lot of criticisms. Just keep those in mind. But it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It can be pretty entertaining.
We'd like to hear what you have to say about it. This is fun to talk about. Yeah.
It is a fun to talk about movie. That's one of the reasons why we want to watch it.
That's why I wanted to review this first before Asteroid City. Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
Asteroid.
this was more to talk about this one than Asteroid City.
Yeah, so stay tuned next time for a review of Asteroid City, which we watched the same day, but we'll have to get around to reviewing later. And yeah, I guess that's it from us.
Yeah. Pure Appreciate out.
This is Mudita Hard Out,
Kenja.
and happy watching. Yeah, I hate snakes.
I hate him.
I hate them. All right,
All right.
take it easy, folks.
Take it easy.
All right, let's kick this off. Dun, dun.
Oh, I did. I was my cue.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to the Medita and Pure PhD at the Movies movie review podcast, the first movie review podcast of 2024. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, and we got some Yakuza Friday night to play us in. All right, cool. Today we're reviewing Kung Fu Panda 4. I guess I'm going to leave this play. And
Yes, you can. Like
Well,
it's a game. It's game footage.
what do y'all think of Kung Fu Panda 4? How does it work as a fourth entry in the series? How does it work with a Kung Fu Panda? And how does it involve these new characters of Zen, the fox, and the chameleon? Find out in our review. All right, folks. It's Friday night, although it's technically Tuesday
night.
in real life.
For me, it was Tuesday.
There we go. Dun, 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 dun.